My God, I hate drugs.
Former Ombudsman Conchita Morales, who filed the pork scam case, says in a text message, quote, "Given the evidence the office gathered, if I were a judge, I would convict him, period." Years since the pork barrel scam was exposed, the anti-graft court will finally hand down tomorrow its first judgment on a high-profile case. Actor and former Senator Bong Revilla, together with businesswoman Janet Napoles and 3 others, will face a Sandigan Bayan verdict on their plunder cases. Caroline Bonkin takes us through what happened so far in Revilla's cases.
A year after the pork barrel scam was exposed, Bong Revilla, together with Jinggoy Estrada and Juan Ponce Enrile, were the first senators charged with plunder and graft over the pork barrel scam in 2014. Revilla allegedly had 224 million pesos in kickbacks after endorsing projects to 5 bogus non-government organizations run by businesswoman Janet Lim Napoles. Because the amount involved in their cases reached the 50 million peso threshold for plunder, they were not allowed to post bail. But Enrile was temporarily free due to his health, and Estrada because the evidence so far supposedly doesn't point to him as the main plunderer. That left Revilla alone in detention. The Sandigan Bayan denied his petition for bail. He then asked the Supreme Court to reverse the Sandigan Bayan's decision, but he later withdrew his petition.
It may take longer for the Supreme Court to resolve that particular issue. In the meantime, the senator was detained and has been detained for so long. It's better for the senator to go through the rigors of trial than wait for the resolution of the petition questioning the denial of the bail.
Although he was charged in 2014, Revilla's plunder trial only began last year because of his several pending motions. Even the trial was postponed several times because of various pleadings seeking to move back the trial. Revilla, who personally testified in his case, said he never received money from Napoles and only met her in parties. Star witness Ben Herluy, Napoles' cousin who exposed the scheme, also testified along with 2 of Napoles' former staff. On Friday, the Sandigan Bayan will finally hand down its judgment, stating whether or not Revilla is innocent or guilty of plunder.
What we are hoping is that the prosecution's evidence was not able to show or meet the standard of proof beyond reasonable doubt. We cannot really say that at this point that the prosecution has discharged its burden or that it has not, or in our case that there is really no evidence.
Revilla's family prays the court will rule in his favor. Former Justice Undersecretary Jose Justiniano, who led the DOJ-NBI's investigation, says the judgment will not affect the other pork barrel scam cases.
Dapat walang epek yan sa ibang kaso. Unang-una, ay magkakaibang division naman na nag-handle niyan. At saka, may mga pagkakaiba din ng mga ebidensya.
But if convicted, he said, this will definitely be a warning to other corrupt government officials. Aside from his plunder case, Revilla also has pending graft cases in relation to the pork barrel scam. Caroline Bonkin, CNN Philippines.
Hello and welcome. I'm Ruth Cabal. Thanks for joining us. President Rodrigo Duterte showing no sign of stopping his tirades against the Catholic Church and its leaders. A day after he called on the public to kill Catholic bishops and after his spokesman clarified the remark was said in jest, the president now has a dare for church leaders. Our senior correspondent Ina Andolong has more.
He's back at it, the president attacking the Catholic Church. He's even leveled up, now challenging members of the church to argue in public.
Hinahamon mo, let us quarrel openly. Kung demonyo ako, kayo religious? Tapos, come on, you shape up.
It's unclear for now if the president's recent tirades were triggered by a specific statement or action by the church. But the president is again lashing out at priests for calling out the killings in his drug war. He's attacked the church before and even previously vowed to end the harsh words. Clearly, that time's up. The palace says the president just gets upset when he sees the church lack of support for what he's done for the country. President Duterte's remark on Wednesday angered many, even if it was a joke.
Pero itong obispo ninyo, patay ninyo, walang silbi yung mga yan. Ito is criticize.
The president's spokesman defends this, saying it's just how the president speaks.
That's only a hyperbole on the part of the president. We should be getting used to this president. He makes certain statements for dramatic effect.
Malacanang is confident the president's remarks won't entice violence against priests. At the 85th founding anniversary celebration of the Labor Department, more tirades. He accused priests of having families and claimed that second mass collections are used to support them. He also criticized the Bible.
You know, ang sumusulat ng Biblia, anak ka ng, that was 3,000 years ago. Anong pakialam noong mga na yun sa ating buhay ngayon? Totoo lang. Who were they? Napag-aral ba yun?
Months ago, President Duterte formed a team to dialogue with the Catholic Church and other religious groups to help explain where his tirades are coming from and in the process mend the apparent rift between him and religious leaders. Not much, however, has come from it. Instead of criticizing his words, Malacanang says the church should just try to dispute what the president says about them. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines says it would rather not comment on the president's latest pronouncements because doing so may just make matters worse. Ina Andolong, CNN Philippines.
Some netizens support President Duterte's stand on the Catholic Church. On Facebook, Eric Ranola says church leaders should respect the separation of church and state. He says the church should focus on its faithful's spiritual well-being and nothing else. Netizen Bon Festejo agrees with the president's comment that all church leaders do is criticize, when in fact Festejo says the government is doing good. But Mr. Duterte's kill bishop's remark also irked some residents, some netizens. Albert Tumaneng says, quote, I really can't imagine any sane person supporting or defending his statement. Camille Navarro, meanwhile, asks, kapag nag-criticize, dapat patayin? What do you think about our top stories tonight? Send us a message at CNN Philippines. We're also live on Facebook. We'll read your comments at the end of the show. The Armed Forces clarifies Air Force Chief Galileo Quintanar will retire early. The statement comes after a group said Quintanar was relieved for opposing Malacanang's choice of helicopters to be purchased under the modernization program. Our Rex Remitio reports.
Defense and security blog Max Defense Philippines raises an alarm over a supposed unnamed person close to President Duterte meddling in the Air Force modernization program. The person wants the Air Force to buy the Augusta Westland armed light helicopters. Max Defense says the local representative of the UK-based company is close to the influential person. This is different from the Air Force's first choice, the Turkish-made attack helicopter. Air Force Chief Lieutenant General Galileo Quintanar defended their decision to go for the Turkish-made helicopters. Max Defense says this caused Quintanar's replacement by Lieutenant General Rosano Briguez.
General Briguez is a number one kasi yan sa klase nila, very intellectual.
Max Defense likened Quintanar's fate to that of former Navy flag officer in command, Vice Admiral Ronald Mercado. He was dismissed last year for supposed insubordination that resulted in the delay of a controversial multi-billion peso frigate deal. But the military denies Quintanar was fired nor relieved over the Turkish helicopters. It says Quintanar stepped down so junior officers could be promoted, even if he was still supposed to retire in January 2020.
It was an internal matter between the officers. Nag-giveaway na siya because there are some junior officers who has to go up kasi maubusan na rin ng time.
On Max Defense's claims, De Toyato says it's false.
We take it as their opinion. At the end of the day, there will be 1,000 opinions, but it is still their own personal opinion.
With Briguez taking over the Air Force, the Philippine Military Academy Sinagtala class of 1986 virtually leads the armed forces, save for Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Benjamin Madrigal, who is their senior. Briguez's batchmates Lieutenant General Macairog Alberto leads the Army, Rear Admiral Robert Empedrad in the Navy, and Major General Alvin Pareño as Marine Chief. General Madrigal is from PMA batch 1985. Rex Remitio, CNN Philippines.
As Clark Airport welcomes more passengers each year, tourists, travelers, and Filipinos around the country are beginning to discover Pampanga as a perfect place to experience culture, especially its food.
We all know that Pampanga is a melting pot. You know, people go to Baguio, they go Olongapo, they stop to Pampanga to try food. We know that food is narrative. Kwento yan eh.
With its roots in colonial Spanish cuisine mixed with indigenous recipes, Kapampangan food is known for its unique flavor.
In Kapampangan we say, matas kami pulok. Our level of yung taste is very high, you know. There are two Kapampangan food now eh. One is so traditional. And the young generations naman, they could not relate. So what I did is, I tried to innovate. And of course, this is one of the most classic Kapampangan dishes we have, kare-kare. And this is my take on my kare-kare, seafood kare-kare. This is my version of seafood kare-kare, mangan.
The rich Kapampangan culture goes beyond its cuisine. Art is also a significant part of Pampanga's way of life.
Pampanga's art and culture it's unique because of the race itself. We derive a lot of uniqueness in terms of the poetry, the music, the zarzuelas.
At Clark Museum, Pampanga's art and history merge to tell the province's story. The use of art to narrate culture preserves Pampanga's identity among other provinces.
Salangyan has two meanings. One is to ignite, and the other one is to take refuge. We're trying to promote and preserve Kapampangan culture. We're also trying to gather all the best Kapampangan artists, especially the young ones. As you can see, the fashion that you saw at the Clark Museum, it's called P-Diet, like what I'm wearing now, and the one behind me. It's called P-Diet, which means to put together. We don't want the arts and culture to be left behind, so we're here to make sure that doesn't happen.
With flourishing food, art, and cultural interests, Northern Luzon will also become a home base for many of the country's world-class athletes. For two-time SEA Games gold medalist Nico Huelgas, putting up the Philippine Sports City is a significant development in Philippine sports.
Having a Philippine Sports City is very important, especially for us athletes na may option kami para makapag-train nearby, convenient. It gives us national athletes a way to train better. Kasi pag maganda yung facilities, mas malaki yung opportunity for us to improve.
The 40-hectare sports complex will include an athletic stadium and aquatic center.
I've been waiting for this for so many years. Convenient yun para sa isang national athlete na pwede makapaglangoy, makapag-bike dito, at ngayon makakapag-run na rin kami na maayos dahil tatayo na yung track oval.
With the development of Clark New City, nearby provinces in Central Luzon are also seen to grow and become more progressive.
A lot of promise. We want to be a part of that as Kapampangan artists. We want to be in the walls, we want to be in the lobbies, we want to be in the psyche of everybody, so we want to be seen all over.
It is a main gateway, all the senses alive in terms of museum, in terms of sports, and of course, the food.
As Pampanga gains international recognition through major developments in the area, the province's culture and tradition will soon be in their well-deserved spotlight.
The Modern City returns tomorrow. We find out how ordinary citizens can benefit from the push to offer more opportunities for business owners.